name is Peter Parfitt, and my aim today is to describe to you the brand new Festool Domino XL 700. It came in these two boxes. One's got the machine and one's got the dominoes. So I'm going to quickly unpack them. Whilst I'm doing this, let me say thank you to the guys at Toolfest here in England, in Woking, who really came to my rescue in a hurry. I tidied the workshop yesterday, decided now is a good time to do a video, and so I phoned Toolfest and said, could you deliver one of these quickly? It arrived this morning at 9:30. So well done, chaps, thanks a lot, Warren. Inside the box, power cable. Oh, ha ha ha, look at this. The brand new Domino. What else have we got? We've got a tool. We've got some free dominoes in 2 containers with little storage divisions in them, very handy. There's a 12mm cutter, comes with the machine. The manual, guarantee and so on, and the base support plate. I also took delivery of some dominoes. In this box I've got a selection of 8 and 10mm dominoes in various lengths, together with cutters. And in this box I've got a selection of 12 and 14mm dominoes at various lengths, together with cutters. Now this is by far the most economic way of getting your cutters, because you get the sustainer, the dominoes and the cutters for almost the same price that you would pay for just the cutters alone if you buy them separately. Right, let's do a little tour of the machine. First, on the right hand side there's the power socket, takes the normal plug-it cable. On-off switch, dust collection port, and a spindle locking button so you can change mortising bits. On this side we have the mortise depth selection from 15mm up to 70mm, and a rather nice feature is that you can program in a minimum and a maximum depth here. So for example, if you're doing a series of mortises where one half required a depth of 30mm and the other half of the joint required 50, you set those two up, 30 and 50, and then you can quickly switch between the two rather than having to get your glasses out and study it carefully every time. And that's handy if you're doing some production work. Also on this side you see here the lever which changes the mortise width from the normal narrow to a wider selection. You use the wider mortise if you want the ability to move joints just a little bit. I'll put that back to the narrow setting. And then just here you can see a little button which allows you to release the carriage. And I'm going to do that straight away because there's something we need to do before we can get started. And that is, we need to remove this piece of plastic which came with the machine when it was new. And that was there to protect the machine in transit. I'm now also going to fit a mortising bit. I'm using the 12mm one that came with the machine. Finger tight, and then out comes the spanner, and you give it just a little tweak. You don't need to put a lot of energy into that at all. And now just reassemble it, and it went click, it's safely reassembled. Let's now talk about the fence mechanism at the front here. First of all, one can adjust the height of the fence. Release this control here, and it now moves freely. there are two gauges one can use to set the height of the fence. This one has selections from 10 to 40 millimeters, and it's in steps. The other way of doing it is using this sight gauge here, where you can set it precisely at 1 millimeter intervals from 10 to 50. Once you've got your selection, whichever way you've used, then just tighten the knob again here. The angle of the fence can be adjusted. Loosen the angle locking knob and you can set the angle from 0 to 90 degrees. There are some detents as well. So that's locked off. So this now is ready to use. There's one little bit that I need to explain to you, that's these little detents here. If you're doing a series of joints where perhaps you've got a pair of joints next to each other and you want to do a whole bunch of them, they've got to be the same. Particularly the pairs that match up have got to be the same. Well, you can set these, push them in for those you don't need. I've left the two middle ones, and you can cut a slot and then use one of these as the register in the slot you've already cut prior to cutting the succeeding slot. So it allows you to do a pair of slots or a series of slots repetitively, all the same. And that's what those are for. You can press them in if you don't need them, and there's a little button each side to release them again. And whichever ones you decide to select to use, push the other ones out of the way. When you finish, pop them out, or leave them pressed in all the time. When I'm doing normal work where I'm sighting things with a pencil line, I leave these pushed in all the time. Much easier. Okay, I think we're ready to switch this machine on for the first time. How exciting.